All right, you are tuned into Bare Knuckle Bowker, and you know who my guest is today, the king of bare knuckle, as many understandably refer to him as, and getting back to doing what he does best at BKB 53, The Harder They Fall, which transpires on April the 17th. And defending his middleweight championship is my guest today, LT Nelson, who takes to the mighty Trigon to take on Mark Tiffin. How's it going, man?
Good, brother. Just train camp's good. We're doing more like media stuff and signing big names to BKB and whatnot. This last weekend I was actually out at NASCAR event because we got a BKB has their NASCAR truck in the truck series there. So I went out and supported Shane Mr. Riggs out there performing, and yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, and I mean, it makes an abundance of sense that you would be almost in like an ambassador type of role for BKB, just considering the, multiple titles you've collected and just all the great things you're still doing in, BKB and everything. But how does it feel to be part of these events in that kind of like ambassador, like signal boosting kind of role? It sounds like you enjoy those pieces as well.
Yeah, 100%, man. This is what I live for. It's just because it's part of the whole fight game. It's not just training. You have to, enjoy life, have little fruits of your labor, but also like, the other side of the fight game, which trying to get way more into these days is like we're entertainers, so like getting in touch with our fans more, or maybe not even getting in touch, but like letting them understand who we are further deeper than just throw down in the trigon. You see that I'm a chill normal person outside. I like extreme sports, jumping off cliffs and crazy stuff like that. But other than that, I'm gonna, like, you can just come talk to me and hang out. I'm just a normal dude. I'm not just like, oh, better than it. You know what I'm saying? So it's nice for people to see, other sides of the fighters, but also just like hear from them more. And I understand that. And also it's cool to see from my perspective, see the growth of BKB, and that they're now, having the availability or having the monies and different situations to fly fighters out just for interviews and fly fighters out to do stuff, have other, stay at nicer hotel. Everything's improving, and it's great to be on board with the company that you see improvements. And they're good people, great people, I believe. But also, you see improvements every fight, from just little things, and it's just good to see that.
Yeah, and even to your point about the influx of like bigger, newer signees and stuff like that, like it seems like that's a thing you're, very much welcoming, like both in a sense of, I guess, like bolstering BKB and that sort of growth pattern you're talking about. But it also seems like maybe some potential competitive opportunities in a way. I mean, obviously, Mark Tiffin is next up and everything like that. But just I saw a post from the BKB account kind of talking about how you're not worried about the new wave of boxers joining the roster. And it seemed like there was that sense of like they could be like potential adversaries. So it would seem like it would serve both masters in a certain regard, depending on how things play out.
Yeah, 100%. And it's just, not only is it cool to like see boxers that I've watched on TV before I even was like fighting, or while I was just starting fighting or something like that, you know what I'm saying? Seeing them coming into our league, it's like not only bringing more eyes on the sport of bare knuckle from like they probably have thousands, hundreds of thousands of boxing fans that are now going to watch them in bare knuckle, and then those fans might like bare knuckle and come start watching them more. So it's bringing more eyes to the game. Then it's also given me an opportunity to step in there with legends of the sport, and once again test my skills. I love testing myself, and love putting myself at work, and holding myself accountable, and going out there and throwing down, and showing people that I believe I'm pound for pound best in the world, and a lot of people say that, and I'm gonna keep on showing people why that is, and I'm gonna keep on putting people out, starting with Mark Tiffin. Big up to him taking the fight, throwing down. No animosity against him, but I'm gonna go out there and do what I do, and I'm gonna throw down. I'm gonna knock this fool out. I'm gonna do it again to someone else soon enough after this. And but right now we're focusing on that. But like I said, not only is it gonna give me a new test for myself, and a new status for myself in my mind, but also it's bring like I said, it's going to bring more money to our sport. It has to. There's no way it's not when there's going to be more eyes coming, bigger name fighters from boxing or ex boxers coming. It's just everything's looking on the up. And I'm an entertainer and I love to fight, but I do it to make a living. This is all I do. You know what I'm saying? So when if I can keep on doing what I'm doing and just making a living fighting, I can retire with my family better. I can support my own family, all that stuff. So it's all up, looks up and great for me.
Yeah, and I guess it kind of fits within like a certain, I mean, not necessarily so much like a thing you seemed pursuant of necessarily, but I feel like your bare knuckle boxing career has kind of had that like you versus the UK guys kind of narrative. I guess this kind of fits within that a little bit in a certain regard
Hey,
too.
sorry, man. The last like 10 seconds just cut out.
No, I guess I was just saying that
It's
it seems
cut.
like,
It's cut out again.
oh,
Hello.
is a little bit of a delay on your end. Has it come back or still,
I can't hear anything. I can't hear anything you're saying.
oh, hold on.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Can't hear.
Oh,
I
um,
just see I just see your mouth moving.
okay. Hmm, hold on.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess like what I was saying before was kind of like the whole Mark Tiffin thing. It's sort of tied into, I guess, like a bit of a narrative that's been there with your career, like you taking on a lot of the UK BKB fighters and stuff like that. So it kind of fits within that tradition a little bit, just LT battling the UK lads and all.
Yeah, yeah, just another UK. I mean, it shows those UK dudes are they're power to them. They're all badasses in their own rights. You know what I'm saying? They're all down to scrap. So it's like they're like, oh, whoever it is, I don't care. I want to fight. So power to them for that. And keep on lining them up. I'm gonna keep on putting them away.
Yeah, it just seems like a big event and overall too. I mean, not even just your championship fight, which is, impressive and intriguing in its own way, obviously, but just the Jarod Grant versus John Barnard lightweight title fight. I mean, just a real stacked event there at Seneca Niagara Resort and Casino there and everything, it
Yeah.
seems like.
Yeah, both those Grand and um sorry, I forgot what was the other. Oh,
Barnard, yeah.
yeah, and Bernard. They're both Bernard's actually like he's a cool. Every time I see him at one of the events, he's super laid back, cool, humble dude. But both those guys, dang, they put on the show when they fight, and they got actual skills in the boxing world, and they've been able to. They've both those fighters are great examples of being able to translate boxing to bare knuckle, you know what I'm saying, and still make it look good and work out.
No, for sure. Definitely something to it, to say the very least. And we've kind of talked about it at different points in the chat and whatnot, just your pound for pound status in the company. And it looked like you were number one the last time I was checking out in the rankings. And a couple other big names in there, like, I mean, Marco Martignac and Gustavo Trujillo popping up in there. And I guess like I was talking to Marco kind of recently ahead of his Ike Villanueva fight, and he was talking about how a lot of people, and he specifically mentioned Gareth A. Davies, but I think this is a sentiment many would agree with, is that Mount Rushmore of BKB is Martignac himself, you, Cub Hawkins, and Gustavo Trujillo. I guess just kind of putting it to you, I mean, not necessarily maybe like, position you'd put yourself in as such, but like, what's your BKB Mount Rushmore, just in the spirit of getting your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think that what you just said there is a pretty strong lineup right there, and a good one, and definitely power to Gustavo and Marniak. Those are two Cub as well, but those I'm happy I'm not up at their weight classes because there, and I was like, those fools hit like trucks. I'm just you know what I'm saying, they're both badasses, and they're good, cool people. I know Gustavo doesn't speak much English, but like I try and talk a little bit through his wife and whatnot. And he's a super humble, good dude. They're both great fighters and just to be up there, just to be up there on the Mount Rushmore, with them. I'm super blessed with that, people, all of our own fans and people have their own thoughts on that Mount Rushmore. You know what I'm saying? But to me, that sounds like the top four right there. That for sure.
And I guess just like because he had a recent fight there and everything, and it seemed like there was a bit of a back and forth dynamic between you. I mean, a respectful one, not necessarily like banter heavy or anything intense per se, but like, what are your thoughts on, I guess, just Cub Hawkins' recent win over Jesse Ronson, and even the idea of maybe even potentially like a pound for pound, super fight sort of thing down the line?
Yeah, I even talked with them like over the weekend when I was there watching I was there over there watching the fights the other week, and it was super. It was a good fight, I mean, I was nervous as crap for him. I was like, crap, this fight he's gonna get finished, this first round. But that shows like true warrior championship heart. What Cub did, came back and put homeboy away, and that boy wasn't no small dude either. He's a big boy, and and power to him. Cub and his people are super respectful and good people. We don't have no hate for each other or anything like that. But like we both say, if that money's right, dude, we'll fight we'll fight wherever, anytime, anywhere, if that money's right. But once they get that money right, then we can start talking about those kinds of things. Right now we got he's on his line. I'm on my line. I'm gonna keep doing my thing. He's gonna keep doing his thing. We'll see what happens in the future. But power to him and his last win. And right now I'm focused on my grind. I'm gonna go defend my middleweight belt, and then you see what the future brings. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I guess that's a cool thing, like where you're at now. Like, not only do you have multiple options by virtue of the multiple titles to defend, but just getting back to the Trigon after that, timeline of your recovery from the injury. So probably even that's like the prominent focus piece, like just, getting back to doing what you ultimately love after, not being able to do it for a meaningful enough period.
Yeah, I know, man. It was just way too long. I've obviously had times in my career where I haven't fought for a while or even longer than now, but it's just like it's very stressful in my sense for me. This is what I love and what I do. I love the thrill. I love the competitiveness. I love every aspect of it, and then obviously the money I need. This is what I do. Only thing I do. So it's been tough. Not only not being able to fight, but just you know being in the gym a lot, just being in the gym nonstop, this and this and this, and just like working at something. But that's where I think a lot of this traveling and going to different interviews and going to the NASCAR, and I think that really helps open like keep my mind okay, you know what I'm saying, instead of just being doing the same exact thing every single day and this and that, you know what I'm saying, because that's what I would be doing because I work hard. I work hard for this, and I've been working hard for a while now, and it's hard for me not to do that. I feel like I'm doing something wrong in my life. So, I'm addicted to that grind. I'm addicted to the struggle that it makes me feel, you know what I'm saying? And I'm addicted to feeling good about it too. I'm feeling good, and but then without those fights, it's just weird in my mind. You know what I'm saying? It's not that I'm training for nothing. I'm always training to get better, you know what I'm saying? But it gives a little more fire under your butt, if you can say, or whatnot, when you have something in line like these last few weeks, just having a fight. It's so nice. I'm like, oh yeah, grind. And now all of a sudden I'm like, this is my last hard week of training. I'm gonna, kill it. And then all of a sudden you put that in your mind, all of a sudden all the workouts this week are like harder. I'm like, what the hell's going on? It's just weird, just the whole fight game. I love it, and I can't wait to get back in there and do what I do best, man. I live in that moment. That's where my natural body comes out. And in that moment I'm not like pissed off, angry. I'm just in the moment of like, I'm trying to destroy someone, but as soon as something happens and I'm right away, I can click out of that. I'm not stuck in that like fight or flight, like, oh my word, I'm defending my life. No, I'm doing what I do. This is what I was born to do. and this is what I do, and I live in it. I live in that moment. And as soon as someone stops it, or the ref gets in our way, I can click that off and start it right again. You know what I'm saying? And that's a super big blessing that I have.
No, for sure. I mean, you want to show people what you're cooking up in, Forza and what you and Leo Perucci are working on. So I get it. You're excited about it.
Yeah, 100%, always.
And I guess like within the reference point that I was drawing before about you fighting a lot of these like standout UK guys, like your first bare knuckle boxing match being against Rico Franco, like such a tenured, prolific fighter for sure. And I mean, kudos to you for how you showed out in that fight. But I guess I bring that up to get your thoughts on his upcoming rematch with Connor Tierney. They're running it back in BKFC this time and fighting for that interim welterweight title. Like, how do you see, I guess, that sequel fight playing out? Do you think it bears like a different resemblance than how their first fight played out and etc.? Like, I guess, what are your thoughts on that Tierney versus Franco fight coming up?
I'm not, I'm not really sure. I don't pay huge attention to all of that. But I know, Rico Franker's a gangster since in that first fight, and if he's like me, he's working and getting better all the time. I'm not huge. I'm not really big on watching that Tierney guy fight, so I'm not really don't really know much about him, but I know he's a badass. I've heard good things, and Rika. That's gonna be another banger. You know what I'm saying? I know both of them are gonna try to stand toe to toe, but they do have good boxing technique and stuff. So it'll be a different kind of like technical toe to toe war, if you will. And I do a big power to Rico. I think Rico can take that. He's a G, man. He's got lots of skills, and the best to him.
No, for sure. I guess it just speaks to like that deep ledger and career that you have. And I mean, great story so far and many more chapters to unfurl. I guess that immediate next one with Tiffin, though, like, do you have a particular idea of how you see this one playing out? I mean, you're not necessarily known to be a guy who, goes the full distance generally. So I would think that maybe you're thinking of ending this one inside the distance or something of that persuasion. But do you have like a particular, I guess, visualization for how this fight plays out? Or it's just more about being adaptable and getting in that flow state on the fight night and just seeing where it goes in that kind of regard, I guess.
Yeah, 100% being adaptable, getting that flow state. That's why I am who I am, because while I'm fighting, I can change and adapt to each fighter, each round, and what I need to do. And another thing that that I'm always ready for. I'm always ready to go 6 rounds toe to toe for a banger, a war. Got great cardio. I love to throw down, so I'm always prepared for that. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going out there. I'm going for the knockout. I believe I'm going to go another first round knockout, 2 fights in a row. I'm going to keep on doing that. I'm going to keep on putting people away. I'm going to not let any judge decide my future anymore in life and anything. And these people are going out. I'm going to show the world. I'm going to keep on knocking people out. And Mark Tiffin, sorry to say, but you're in my way, brother. And it's time to go to sleep.
I mean, that could serve as a great parting thought in and of itself, but figured I'd give you the floor, LT, if there was anything you felt inclined to add as we're wrapping up here. I appreciate you making the time to come on Bare Knuckle Bowker once again.
Yeah, thanks for having me, brother. Always good to talk to you. And if you haven't watched BKB, go watch it. I'm gonna put on a show. I always put on a show. You don't see me fight, go watch me fight. April 17th, Niagara Falls, Seneca Resort and Casino. Check it out. It'll be live on Vice TV. I believe we also are airing live on Telemundo. We have a contract with them as well. And and I just can't wait to fight. Can't wait to perform and put on a show for the crowd, but also just show everyone, I am who I am for a reason, and I'm gonna keep on showing that, proving that, and improving every fight and showing people that improvement. And I can't wait. I'm gonna throw down. Big up Forza Combat Sports, Leo Perucci. All my sponsors, everyone will see them on my shorts and walk out coming up soon. My management team, Tim and Sean Ehrlich. I can't wait for Tim Serrano and Sean Ehrlich. Like, can't wait to bring another win home for them as well. So much love to everyone, and thanks for having me on here as well, dog.
No, of course, man. Super excited for BKB 53. I'll be very much attuned to, I mean, multiple title fights. I mean, if it was just your fight with Mark Tiffin, that would sell me on it. But that Jarod Grant, John Barnard fight as well. And yeah, just
Yeah.
incredible stuff, man. So thank you again for making the time. All the best with the remaining stretch of the preparations. I mean, I imagine you're kind of largely tapering off, but in any event, very excited to check out the fight when it goes down. But until then, you have a good rest of your day, man. Thank you.
Brother, you as well, man. Have a good one. Good to talk to you.